Hey there. Oh there, hi there. Once again, this is Jim the Keys bartender coming to you from Key Largo. And I'm not going to repeat what I just said, so I'm going to start something new. I've noticed, and I'm not going to talk about, we know in the previous episode I just said all I had to do about our current conditions right now. I'm going to talk about things. I'm going to try this out, ignoring everything else, what's on the news and things like that. Just one observation. Some people dress like assholes. Okay? Some people, um, there was a young lady that came in, and uh, these guys, they're a couple years older than me, 15, 16 years older than I am, right? So get the creep factor out. And this girl must have been like in her mid 20s, and she was wearing a. I have to. I mean, maybe one of our listeners could probably help us out with that one. But she was wearing kind of like a sundress jumper, if it were one piece jumper, and it had a light kind of top, and it showed a lot of side boob on it. And the guys went nuts. When I say nuts, they just got real. You know how guys get when they're around women showing something. They just she's wearing a mask when she comes to the bathroom. Now we're setting the scene. We're at the bar. The bar's a big rectangular, and it ends at one end of the bar is open window where our kitchen is, where we get all the food from. There's a little entrance on this side there, and then the rest of the bar is kind of like a rectangular outcropping from that. And these guys are at a table, not at the bar because we don't have bar service anymore, for certain reasons. I'm not going to say what, but there's no reason for me to know unless you just woke up from a coma. And if you just woke up from a coma, maybe this shouldn't be the first show you should be listening to. Boy, we'll talk about that in a second. That's a good idea. Maybe a good premise for a thing. What if someone woke up from a coma? Okay, so the girl walks by and she's showing tons of side boob. Nice side boob. Very nice. Unenhanced. Uh, none, side boob. And she's wearing a mask so you can't really tell. And um, the way it is, these guys just go berserk. When I say berserk, they just when she leaves they start talking. Wow, I'm going to get in trouble here. Boy, that's an eyeful and all that stuff. Well, first of all, it's creepy because you're old. I'm old. I wouldn't say it. And you ever hear that thing where people say about when children break shit and stuff like that when they have you get a TV or they have a new bike or something and they break it. That's why you can't have nice things, right? I'm going to apply this for that. This is why we don't see a lot more side boob, because of idiots like that. Just shut up, accept it, enjoy it. Don't stare right at it. Take note of it visually. I do that all the time. It's an art form. Years ago, when I worked at the Encore, and I worked it was only a couple of years ago. It was about 3 years ago I last worked there. It hasn't been open since this next September. It's going to be 3 years. 3 years. Um, but it's a nice restaurant here in the Keys. And it was a nice restaurant here in the Keys. And I was bartending there. And if you're an avid listener, you will have heard this in the past, but I'm going to tell this story. There was, and you've probably seen it, heard it 3 times. I'm hanging on the bar. There's 3 servers there at the host stand. And the host stand is right from the transition from the lounge into our dining area into our back patio. And there were 2 servers and 1 hostess, or 3 servers there. And these 3 women come in their mid-20s. And one of them, they must have been in a convertible, I think. because they're walking in from the bright sunlight into the restaurant, and as they're coming up, they're wearing bikinis, so they must have been on the boat or a beach or something like that. And one of them has the bikini top pulled down off to the side, where you're just seeing a boob just sticking out, closest to the bar, might I say. And I'm leaning there, and when she comes in, I say hello to the ladies, and I don't give a reaction. I do my best expression in a high stakes poker game. It's like being dealt a royal flush. If you're dealt a royal flush, you want to be as calm as you can. You know, they'll probably think you have a straight or something like that. But what are you going to do? Calm as you can. Try to bet relatively good, because they know you're keeping your cards, so you want to keep good, but not enough that you're going to bleed yourself out and hope that other people get a better hand, and they probably think you have a straight. But a royal flush is when the other hands, the other people holding cards, that they start laying out the big money. You follow, you check, and do all that stuff. You do your best so you don't react. Why don't you react? You don't want to scare away your pigeons. In this case, the pigeons were the girls. So the one comes in with her boob hanging out, and it's a nice looking boob there. And I'm thinking, well, thank you. Not every day do you get a chance, just unsolicited, to see a boob. And you should admire it, much like you would a beautiful flower or a lovely bird that flies into your eyesight, within your viewing area. That's the way I viewed it. So I didn't do anything, and the hostess grabbed them and started walking them out to the table. Now, at this point, I went to go and get my manager. And yes, there may have been sexist and stuff like that, but obviously this woman was riding in the car with a boob, so she probably was just no problem whatsoever. And one of the servers, who probably doing the right thing, she, a female server, went to one of the friends and said, hey, you may want to tell your friend her boob's out all the way. Like, they didn't know. And I guess they wanted to see, because the girl wasn't embarrassed, she did not turn beet red when the waitress told her and the other one told her. She didn't get upset. She just picked it up, covered it up, because she wanted to see the reaction. And I think I passed the test. And I think the server passed the test too. What would have probably have happened is all the guys that I work with, and they were runners and if there were any male servers, and all the guys in the kitchen would have came out and started looking around the corner. They were going out to our back patio and know exactly we have a fence, a partition, so you don't see into our back kitchen area, and where they get the dishes ready for run through the dishwasher. They would have probably been gathering there, and you would have seen them over there like the Three Stooges leaning over the wooden green fence, and they would have been looking out the corner of it at the girl's boob, and that's probably when they would have got the big thrill from it. That's what happened with the side boob. And guys don't know how to handle it if they could just not get upset about it, not get worked up, and just handle it with kind of suave. Just think like you're James Bond. So nice, lovely, that's it. Let it go, not get a big deal about it. And I felt like saying to the guys, and I did say to the guys, that's why we can't have nice things. That's why we don't see a lot more side boob, because you make such a big deal about it. I'm not saying it isn't a big deal. I think it's great whenever that happens. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with a human body and stuff like that. I don't necessarily want someone to show certain private parts while I'm eating. Not all private parts, and not all private parts are created equal. I'm sorry to say that. And you can call me a body shamer or whatever like that. I just don't necessarily just think they all need to be seen. And I can be judged for that. I understand. I'm a giving person. Yes, all people are beautiful, but some people need a little more clothes than other people, and some people need less. And in this case, this girl had the proper amount of clothes on, and it was covered up. There was, you see a nip. Uh, a week before, there was a woman came in, and she had obviously had no bra on, and she had a sheer white top, and it was just, she had, I don't know if they were real or fake boobs and stuff. It was just there, and then she started covering up and all this stuff. I never said anything to her. I guess she may have went to the restroom and noticed it, and but I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't going to stare at her. I wasn't going to start leaning over and leering. There's a proper way to behave that way, and that's where I'm talking about clothing and stuff like that. Now, I'm not one of the guys like you see the young lady who put on real, she's walking down the street in New York, and you have these guys ogling or saying something. What is wrong with just admiring somebody and letting it go? It's these things that stop us from having these things. That's why we can't have nice things, because certain guys can't have it, certain women. Certain guys don't like women breastfeeding. I don't care. I don't have a problem with it. I don't understand when people get upset about it. You're in a restaurant, everyone else is eating. You see a little baby eating, you get all upset. And when the lady brings out her boob to feed someone, it's a bottle. That's what you should view it as. You could admire it. You could just go. You can admire it in passing, meaning it's like, oh, nice boob, and that's it. Just like a nice dress, nice hat, nice glasses you got there, and let it go. Enjoy it, and then you get to see. When you're able to do those things, then everyone gets to enjoy it. But we get oglers, and that's what the guys are doing. So they can't handle it. Let's get back to clothing. So, some people, I'm not a believer that the, women should be objectified for the clothing that they wear. They should be admired. That's fine, but not overly objectified for that. Let's get on their clothing. This guy comes in. I'm not going to call him. I'm going to call him by another name. Let's call him Tommy. Tommy's in his 90s, right? He's in 90 years old. I don't know what he used to do. He could have been a photographer at one time or something like that. But Tommy comes in, and he doesn't like loud noises. And he comes in and eats. And he calls me big boy. Hey, big boy, how you doing? And stuff like that. And I call him, how you doing, old man? And he says, why would you call me old man? I said, well, why you call me big? You're a big boy. And I said, well, you're an old man. So there you go. You're in your 90s. You're officially an old man. And he's calling a 50-something-year-old guy a boy. You're definitely an old man. If I call a 40-year-old woman a girl, I'm an old man. So that's just take appearances and stuff like that. Well, this guy comes in. So every time he comes in, he he tries to go at an off hour, like, let's say, what do they call those times where senior citizens come in? Early bird special time. We don't have an early bird special, but he tries to come in around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and he hopes that it's not too loud in there. He doesn't like noise. And he shuts the door to our main lounge and our back lounge, so it's just the room, people in the dining area. And normally it's not too loud, but if it's too loud, he gets a little worked up. And he calls the waitresses girly and boyo. He used to say, hey, boyo, how you doing? Stuff like that. But he dresses like he's going on a safari. Yep. He dresses like he's going on a safari. And I saw the waitress go like this. That guy, so it kind of makes sense. People say, well, he probably was the same guy that took Teddy Roosevelt out on his safari to Africa after he was president, or he was one of those hunters that would take before World War One, before World War Two. You know, in between the interwar years, that would take people out hunting in Africa. You know, these white guys that were overprivileged, and they go and take in there and take them to hunt rhino or elephants. But Jerry, I guess, and people said, well, why is he dressed like that now? I said, well, because he's in his 90s, and because of our current condition, almost every time he goes out, it's kind of like a safari, right? It's a danger to everything. Everything that he sees is out there. It's like a cat could scratch him and kill him, or he could trip over a curb and break his hip. So it's probably very adventurous for him. And then you have guys that come in dressed like bikers, who are doctors. That's a funny thing, because you know sometimes they do hang out with him and stuff like that. But I would love to see how we get falling with some of these bikers down here, the guys that traffic crystal meth and stuff like that. I don't think they would last. You know, these Harley guys would last too long around them. Those bikers, or there's people that dress like they're boat captains. You don't see that much down here. Like Thurston Howe. I would love, that would be a great outfit to wear when you're out. One of those hats that the kid wore in Caddyshack when he was invited to the yacht club. If I only could, someday I want to have that blazer with the emblem on the side and the white captain's hat and an ascot. That's the quintessential asshole outfit. And then in the Keys, there's clothing that really seems, what would you call it, out of place. You have the lawyer from out of town taking a deposition outfit. And they come in, they're wearing shirt, tie. I have yet, oh my God, I've been working in this place for a couple of years. I have yet to see more than like 3 people come in with a suit. A whole suit, not a sport coat. I've seen people come in with sport coats and stuff like that. They were coming from weddings and things like that, yes. But mainly, if you're dressed up down here, it's like a white shirt or a nice shirt, no tie. A shirt and a tie with short sleeves, you're thinking you're dealing with Jehovah's Witnesses, maybe. But then you guys with the long sleeves and ties, and you can tell they left their suit jacket in the car. You can tell they're most likely attorneys, or somebody making a bid on a big public works project. Someone from a government agency up north. And then you have your vacationers that come in and they're wearing Jimmy Buffett shirts, sneakers, white socks. That's definitely a tourist one. You have the obligatory, especially in the summertime, and not summertime, in the springtime, the bad sunburn. They're all excited and they forget about the one thing, about reapplying their sunscreen or not putting on at all. You have the older guy down here who wears shorts and likes them short and tight. They got the short shorts and they go. I mean, and they're not exactly Daisy Dukes. They're just these fishing shorts they wear with these side pockets, cargo pants, but they're short cargo pants. I've had them before, but I'm trying not to do that. And they got, I guess at one time, when they were burly young men, maybe they had big thighs and calves and stuff, but as they get older, the legs get thinner and their bellies start drooping over it. And really, you could tell that the older fishermen, and a couple of them I haven't seen in a while. But then you got the guys that work in construction. They come in there. They have you can see the shirts. You can see the other fishermen. The ones who work as active fishermen, they got the raccoon eyes, and they come in. They got these vented shirts, these fishing shirts, and you can see that. But they're really out of place. You see that every so often. You see young people come in when they're visiting their family, and they may have friends down here, and they come in dressed up like they're going out. They're going to a club. And I'm looking at it, and I remember someone asking me, they were in their 20s, and said, "Where's a club nearby?" And I go, like about 50 miles, 60 miles north of here. That's how serious. 60 miles until you go down there, and then you got 100 miles south. You got Key West. There's some clubs down there you can probably, but nothing like in Miami. And even that close may not be. There's certain places you come dressed up like that, but they're really in the Keys. It's not like Miami or not like anything you see here. That I guess it'd be akin to being in New Mexico, near in the middle of ranch land, when you see someone come out of place with the wrong kind of clothes. And I always wondered when I'm trying to pick the right outfit when I'm traveling abroad. Like, obviously, if I went to a place like, I'm going to pick a place that's in Asia. Yes, I may stand out as a tourist. But if I'm in Poland or France, there's no reason for them to look at me and just look at me and say, "Oh, you don't look." I mean, here we're multicultural societies. France, so if you were Asian, black, or Latin, there's no reason for people to see. If you come to the United States, there's no reason for people to think you're not American. Actually, you can wear some kind of stranger clothes. You can wear a dashiki shirt, or you can wear, the kind of clothes they wear in South America or anything like that. And people, man, it doesn't mean you're not American. But for some reason, when you're over in Europe and stuff like that, they'll look at me and there's something I'm doing wrong. In Italy, I'm a little too, well, I'm getting a little too old to be wearing capri pants on a guy. Some guys wear they have tight polo shirts and capri pants when they come here. And I guess Brazilians, Italians, maybe some French and Spanish, they have that. The Germans not so much. Germans dress, probably you see a shirt that they might wear one that says Disney on it, or or a football shirt. When I say a football shirt, I mean a soccer shirt. They stick out. But I'm always trying to get my right haircut when I go up there, and I get the Eastern European haircut. Not use too much gel, not comb my hair. I just want to. I realize when I open my mouth, they're gonna nail me with. They're not from here, but there's no reason for them looking at me. When I'm walking by, just walking out, and every so often I'll go in there and start doing it. I'll start talking Polish, and I'll just go, "Whoa." I'm putting my hands up to the side. "Hey, thanks." You had no idea. I said, "Nope, don't speak Polish," And there's plenty of places around there where you got Russians in there and Germans in there. They may not understand you and stuff like that. So, and once they figure out you're American down here nowadays, you don't know how people are going to react to that. But I always enjoy the thing when you look at people and I think, where are they from? What are they doing today? And rarely do the locals always kind of have that thing. But then you get some, always seem to kind of get it right. But then there's other people that live in Florida come down here, and you can't tell if they're from the Keys or not, because they're not wearing a particular travel kind of clothes. Someone comes in with a polo shirt. Who knows? Who knows who's going to be? It's kind of exciting. I'm going to try to employ that tonight. But I think you can really dress. What do they say? Dress for the job that you want. Dress for how you want to be treated. And you gotta, when you're going to a place, in a tourist place, there's nice tropical, and there's casual tropical, and there's trashy tropical. I guess there is. There's people that be in a boat. You got women that come in and they have the little over coverings that wear when they're in the bikinis, and the guys come in with their swimsuits with a t-shirt over the top, which I find, for me, wearing it's, walking around in a dry bathing suit and stuff like that. That is not a comfortable feeling. I don't know how you do that, but I want to try a little experiment when I go out. I'm going to try to dress the next 3 times I go shopping. I'm going to try to dress counter to what I would do and see what, I know when I throw on a long sleeve shirt, people think, what the hell's the matter with you? It's 98 degrees. Well, this is going to be a short show right now. I just wanted to do 2 this week, and I got 2. I might be able to do another one tomorrow, but I'd like to thank you all for listening, and please share me with some of your friends. The Keys are doing great. We're coming up on lobster season. I don't know. I don't think they're going to restrict it. But what do I know? I didn't think they were going to cancel my operation. We don't know what's going on. I didn't say. We do know what's going on, but I didn't say how we're going to react to it. So right now, the Keys are open. If you come into the Catch restaurant here in Key Largo, please come and say hi to me. I did meet a couple listeners recently, and I'm getting more and more, which is great news. But until then, till next time, I'd like to thank you for listening. Please share. Please follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And if you ever see the show online live, you please send me a chat. I'll be happy to respond if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye.